Chapter 7, Mishnah 5. We have learned that a kosher animal or bird may not be eaten unless it was slaughtered in the required way, i.e. shechita or chulin, unconsecrated birds and animal offerings, malika for bird offerings. If it was not slaughtered properly, it becomes a nevela, which may not be eaten. Usually a nevela also transmits tuma. An animal contaminates whoever touches or carries it. A bird contaminates whoever eats it. But there are situations in which it does not transmit tuma. Having dealt with this subject above, Mishnah 3, the Tana discusses it further. If a Kohen did malika with his left hand or at night, which makes the malika invalid, or if he did shechita on unconsecrated birds inside the courtyard or consecrated birds outside the courtyard, these birds do not transmit tuma via the throat. Although these acts of malika and shechita are invalid and do not make birds fit to be eaten or burnt on the mizbeach, they prevent the birds from becoming nevelos with respect to tuma. The Mishnah now lists cases in which birds become nevelos in every respect, including tuma. If he performed malika with a knife instead of his thumbnail, or if he performed malika on unconsecrated birds inside the courtyard or consecrated birds outside the courtyard, or consecrated turtle doves whose time has not arrived, i.e. they are too young, or pigeons whose time has passed, i.e. they are too old, or consecrated birds whose wing has withered, whose eye has been blinded, or whose leg has been cut off, which makes it unfit to be a korban. In all these cases, the bird transmits tuma via the throat. Each of these acts of malika is so strongly disqualified that, like an ordinary act of killing, it makes the bird a nevela in every respect. The Mishnah gives a general rule for determining whether the malika has some validity, i.e. it prevents the bird from transmitting tuma, or whether it is completely invalid. This is the rule: any bird whose disqualification was in the holy, i.e. it became disqualified in the course of avodah in the Beis Hamikdash, does not transmit tuma via the throat. But if its disqualification was not in the holy, it does transmit tuma via the throat. The Mishnah cites another case in which the malika of a bird offering is an invalid avodah and yet prevents the bird from transmitting tuma. And if any of the disqualified people, such as a non-Kohen, does malika on a bird offering, their malika is invalid and the offerings may not be eaten or burnt on the mizbeach, because they do not transmit tuma via the throat.